Hey listeners, just a quick announcement for you League fans out there. Every month we take turns producing some bonus content for our patrons on Patreon. In the past, Meg and Bob created some slash fiction and Kit did art of a moment from League. It was my turn in July, so I wrote and ran a bonus League adventure where the players took on the roles of characters voted for them by the patrons. The episode ended up being incredibly fun and goofy, and it's available to all our patrons. If you're interested, you can check it out on patreon.com/smashfictionpodcast. Stay tuned for the end of this episode, where I'll put up a little sneak peek of that sweet, sweet bonus content. Thanks. Welcome to Extraordinary League, an actual play RPG podcast brought to you by Smash Fiction. I'm Dan Mulkerin, your game master. Playing Stitch is Kit Mulkerin.
Lord, I was born a rambling man, trying to beat Phyrexia, doing the best I can. And when it's time for leaving, I hope you'll understand that I broke the DDC. Sorry.
Playing Dante is Liz Logan.
Man, I just want to eat pizza and raise a red leather-clad army of undead!
Playing Sterling Archer is Miles Schneiderman.
Yeah, I'm Sterling Archer, secret agent. Also, gunslinger of the line of Eld and servant of the White, which... The White, really? Is that what we're calling it? Because that's pretty racist. I think I'm not sure, Roland. I'm not comfortable with this.
Playing Luna Lovegood is Megan Bob.
Dear Quibbler readers, I don't have much time as we're about to fight in the Nexus tournament, but I wanted to say that I tried casually bringing the topic of species into the conversation, and I still don't know what Mordin is, so I think I may need to try something a bit more drastic. I'm including a picture of Dante, one of my teammates. I know, he does look a bit like Draco Malfoy, doesn't he? Don't worry though. I'm sure Dante would never let himself be seduced by the power of evil. Lots of love, Luna.
Playing Mordin, Dr. Shocker Solus is Colin Mulkerin.
The name on everybody's lips is gonna be Doctor. The fellow writing out prescripts for death will be Shocker. I'm gonna conquer your planet and sit on a throne that's made of your bones. The only people left alive are gonna be an army of my identical clones. The new overlord of your pathetic rock'll be Doctor. It's midnight on your species clock. And as I laugh with maniacal glee, the last face that you'll ever see, Dr. Shock.
Outstanding.
When did Mordin become a megalomaniac? Where is this coming from, man?
Don't break kayfabe. How many times?
Sorry.
Previously, you successfully repelled a home invasion / home reclamation attempt by a couple of groups that really hated your guts, before continuing on in your attempt to win the Nexus tournament and claim the winner's trophy, along with the gem within it necessary for Phyrexia's defeat. Mordin and Luna have discovered something strange about this city and the tournament, but that's all worries for a later time. Right now, you're on stage in Balboa Arena, about to begin your next match against Team Adventquisitions Zonecorporated. A lightning round selected Battle of the Bands. The stage suddenly begins to reshape itself. You and Team Adventquisitions Zonecorporated are each raised on your own respective platforms as stacks of amplifiers rise around you. Simultaneously, instruments are lowered from the ceiling and set around the platforms. Guitars, basses, drums, microphones on stands, keyboards, and many other instruments all waiting invitingly to be chosen. Fighters! You will have just a few minutes to set up your band. Decide who's playing what instrument, and what sort of song or songs you'll be playing. Will you be improvising or playing covers? Once you're ready, the two bands will play, and the audience will vote on who wins and proceeds to the final match. Looking over to the other platform, you see that the 6 fighters of Adventquisitions Zonecorporated immediately begin to start picking out their instruments. What do you do?
Is this like the Hunger Games, where there's like a big pile of instruments in the middle and we all have to rush for them?
That's exactly what it is.
I know what I want to do.
Mordin wants vocals.
Dante wants lead guitar.
Stitch wants lead guitar.
Stitch needs drums.
Stitch has
Yeah,
a
because
guitar.
that's what Stitch would destroy the drums. I have a guitar.
Obviously, the drummer is me, Sterling Archer. I have perfect rhythm.
Which cannot be taught.
Clearly, both Dante and Stitch are on lead guitar.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say is that I somehow strap you to my back through my gun bra, and it'll be like dual walls of awesomeness.
So instead of like a double guitar, it's like a double
guitarist.
Yes, yes.
Seems like Luna's gonna get bass. Does that sound about right?
No, Luna really wants to play like a massive church organ. Something unreasonable.
So there's no bass. Wait, no, Lace can be on bass.
Lace on bass?
She breaks all the bass strings with her claws.
I'm just imagining Stitch grabbing a bass and running up to Lace and just like putting it around her neck and then like patting her on the head and waving off, leaving her looking very confused.
You got this.
I'm cool with us having a Velociraptor on bass.
I mean, how many chances are we gonna get for this?
So it's Mordin on vocals.
And, like, tambourine, I guess, as well.
Okay, sure.
Maybe cowbell.
Sure.
Oh my god, are we gonna do ABBA stuff?
So Mordin on vocals and incidental percussion. Dante on lead guitar. Stitch on also lead guitar. Lace on bass. Archer on drums. And Luna on church organ. Alright, so you guys have your band set up, and you look across and see that Adventquisitions Zonecorporated has similarly been set up. The human cleric Omen Dran is on vocals. The elf wizard Taco is on lead guitar.
Of course.
The human wizard Jim Darkmagic is also on lead guitar.
Kindred spirits.
The human fighter Magnus Burnsides is on bass.
Really? I would have put him on drums.
The dwarven berserker Binwin Bronzebottom is on drums.
Okay, alright, fair enough.
And the dwarf cleric Merle Highchurch is on jug.
That's pretty Merle.
You guys are going to have to figure out what song you're going to be playing. Do you want to come up with an original song? Do you want to play a cover song? Do you want to just sort of freeform jazz it, man, and just kind of, go explore and, let the music speak to you? What's your approach for this first of 3 songs that you have to play?
I kind of am tempted to go with some Meatloaf stuff.
Some Meatloaf. Interesting.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh shit!
Are you thinking Paradise by the
Yes!
Dashboard Light?
Yes! Because it's got duet possibilities.
Oh, so it's Mordin and Dante
Yes!
singing the 2 parts.
Oh,
What song is
God.
this? I don't even know if I know this.
Paradise by the Dashboard Light? Oh, it's...
Oh my god.
Colin, I can show you the world, man. To summarize, Paradise by the Dashboard Light is a song by Meatloaf that involves a guy talking about the first time he had sex in a car with a girl. And it's a duet where, like, the first half of the song is just the guy singing about how excited he's getting. And then the female part comes in, and she joins him for the most part, and then all of a sudden, there's this moment where she's like, no, hang on, before we do this, you have to tell me that you love me, and you're gonna be with me forever. And essentially, there's this big sequence where he waffles back and forth about whether or not he wants to do this, and then he just gets so horny that he can't control himself, and he just promises that he's gonna marry her, and so they have sex, and they get married, and he regrets it for the rest of his life, is how that song goes.
It's such a funny song. It's so good.
So I basically see this as being Dante's idea that he starts doing this song, and Mordin just kind of has to go along with it. Is that what?
See, I think it would be reversed.
You think?
Okay, yeah,
Think
sure.
Warden's gonna be the dude?
Yeah.
I kind of like that. I think it's funny because it's like Dante is having to be the kind of demure one, and
Oh, yeah.
Mordin is having to be the aggressive one,
I mean, also, like, does Mordin perform as, like, in persona? Is it kind of a Prince thing or something like that, where he performs as Dr. Shocker, so his persona is much more sexually aggressive?
Very true. He's still in character.
Well,
yeah.
he's playing Dr. Shocker doing an impression of Meatloaf.
Oh yeah, Mordin. He loves being like several characters deep.
Yep.
He's method like that.
That's what we're gonna play. All right, that church organ slams into life.
Yep. So as you guys begin to start playing Paradise by the Dashboard Light, Team Adventquisitions Zonecorporated begins to play the song Take a Chance by ABBA.
Bastards! I love that song.
Mordin looks down at the set list, which had Mamma Mia as the second song, and he gets out a Sharpie and has to cross it off.
I'm gonna need everyone to make checks. If you are on vocals, you need to make a psyche check. If you are on guitar, you need to make an agility check. If you are on bass, you need to make an endurance check. If you are on drums, you need to make a strength check. And if you are on keyboard/church organ, you need to make a reason check.
Oh,
All right, go for it.
Green.
Okay, green for Dante.
Green for Stitch.
Mm-hmm.
Big ol' white.
White for
Yeah,
Archer.
that's a white for Mordin.
White for Mordin, not quite into the lyrics.
He doesn't understand. What are you even talking about?
Yeah.
Is this some sort of Earth mating ritual?
I would do anything for the league, but I will not do that.
Good job. Good reference.
So Lace broke a string.
I think she broke all the strings. Just one
Wait.
strum. Bloop.
Wait, you're saying that the Velociraptor didn't do a good job on this?
All right, how did Luna do?
I got a green.
Green. All right, so 3 greens and 3 whites. Let's see how Team AZ does.
Oh, God.
Taco and Jim Dark Magic are trying too hard to outdo each other, and the two of them just end up sounding like garbage.
Nice.
On the other side of the stage, Omendron takes to the vocals with complete and utter gusto, and Merle Highchurch is keeping time on his jug like an old hand. But the guitars have descended into madness. Magnus Burnsides is struggling to keep up with the ever-changing needs of said guitars, and Binwin Bronzebottom has completely destroyed the drums, and not in a musically appealing way. So there is some chaos going on the Team Ohana side of the stage, but Team Adventquisitions Zonecorporated just made a lot of noise. So you guys have won the first round of playing.
You know, I think Steven the Goldfish really needs to have an instrument.
I agree. A tiny bass.
How many rounds are there, Dan?
There are 3 rounds. So now we are going into the second round of music. What are you guys playing for this round?
Can we please play Highway Star by Deep Purple and
That is-
me and
Fuck
Stitch?
yeah.
Me and Stitch ride Lace around the arena.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, we can do fucking Highway Star.
Nobody gonna take my raptor, gonna race
We're
it
gonna
to
bite
the
you in
ground.
the leg!
You guys tune up for some Highway Star, and Team Adventquisitions Zonecorporated comes back with a medley. They start off by playing a dirge called My Belle Ruelle, which leads into a song called Critical Hit, and ends with a song called Let the Games Begin. So, let's see how everyone does.
Another white for Mordin. Apparently, he's not so good when he's not doing the patter songs.
Well, Deep Purple seems to have brought out the best in one Sterling Archer,
Okay.
because that is a red.
Well, alright then.
So both Stitch and Lace got a white this time.
Oh,
I don't
man.
think
Hey.
being attached to Dante is working out for them.
Guess what? I got a white too.
Oh,
So
man.
Stitch is
We
gonna
run
rip
straight
himself
to a
off of
wall.
Dante's back.
Well, I think
Oh,
no one
no.
bothered to restring Lace's bass is the problem.
And she's running around. That's
Yeah.
kind of problematic.
So I'm giving a brilliant drum performance right here.
Basically, this is just a drum solo, is what this song is.
Yeah.
How did Luna do?
I got a white as well. So Luna's
Oh
never
my
heard the song.
Well, see, it's not a drum solo, Dan, because everybody else is trying to play is the problem.
There's a drum solo in there somewhere. You just have to listen real hard. All right, let me see how your opponents did. Yeah, I don't need to roll anymore. They already beat you guys.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Archer is really finding his groove here and is like kind of transcendent, but not quite transcendent enough to elevate the sour chords coming out of the pipe organ, the half-hearted attempts at hitting some of the higher notes by Mordin, or the utter chaos that happens as Stitch and Dante are riding around on Lace, and none of them really actually playing their instruments. So Adventquisitions Zonecorporated does come out with a stirring rendition that leaves the audience on their feet and clapping along. So the audience is divided right now.
Stitch goes off stage really quickly to restring Lace's guitar, or sorry, her bass, and gives her a pep talk.
Sure, what does a pep talk sound like?
Like, don't fuck it up. I
Stitch has been watching some Drag Race
think
lately.
he has.
Yeah, Mordin's gonna wipe some sweat from his brow, and he says, "Okay, think the time has come. And he's going to reach into a little pouch on his back and pull out a little cube with a button on top.
Yes!
Oh, shit!
That he actually got from his lab before the mission started. Mordin hits the button on top of the box.
I'm Mr. Meeseeks, look at me!
Yep, a weird kind of boneless blue creature springs out of it and immediately takes the stage.
Ooh-wee, what do you need me to do in this situation?
Mr. Meeseeks, backstage I noticed there was a little control board for lasers and smoke. In order to really hit this next song out of the park, I think we're gonna need some additional special effects. Whatever you can get back there, just bring it all.
Oh boy, can do!
Okay, so the Meeseeks vanishes backstage as you all are preparing, and reappears a few seconds later, carrying a very elaborate sound and special effects board.
Best 50 karma I ever spent.
Yep, absolutely. So you guys are playing your last song. Team Adventquisitions Zonecorporated is countering with It's a Departure by the Long Winters.
Of course.
Now, you guys are going to be making your rolls again. However, the crowd is now remembering the endorsement that Hannah Montana gave you.
Oh,
so
no.
all of you are going to be getting a +2 column shift to your roll. Out of character. If something bad had happened to Hannah Montana during that fight, you guys would have a big penalty at this point. But
Gotcha.
you
I
actually
knew
did
this
it.
would pay off. I knew
Yeah.
it would pay off.
Absolutely.
Yay.
Yeah, you
Liz
guys
was
get a
playing the
plus-
long game since the Hunger Games episode.
So you guys get a +2 to this roll. And Mordin, because you use the Meeseeks box, you get an additional +4 to your roll. So you're rolling a +6 to your psyche.
So yeah, I picture some sort of like soft synth music comes in, and then Mr. Meeseeks cues up the effects, and some fog rolls in, and there's some like blue lasers that are going through the fog machine. Mordin takes the mic and says, "You may say to me, dear Dr. Shocker, all your monologues are such a bore. Are you real, or are you just a talker? Well, I'm not here to talk. I want war.
Oh, shit.
I want to exterminate your inferior species. I want to see you bleeding, watching that stuff run down your face. What do you mammals call it? Oh, tears. With your inferior biology, you can't put up a fight. My genius mind is capable of engineering living embodiments of all of your species' worst. What are they called again? Oh, that's right. Fears. You cannot hide, you cannot run, once my doomsday device pulls your planet into your sun. So drop to your knees and swear loyalty to me as I conquer your world."
So, is it just me, or does it feel like it feels like GLaDOS wrote that?
Okay, yeah, everyone roll. Let's see how you do.
Dan, I have something to add to this, and Archer's been, perhaps unwisely spending some time with Dr. Krieger. He was before he got abducted, which means they got to share some interests, and Archer after that last song is really feeling it. So in the middle of this song, the lights and the lights are gonna go dark, until they come back, and everybody's gonna stop for Archer's actual drum solo, which is going to be the one from YYZ.
Wow, that is ambitious, sir. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what I'm thinking. You're gonna make your roll at -4 ranks.
Okay. Well, -2, right? Because I have the +2 from before.
Correct. But if you get a green or better, you step up your result by 1 color.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
It's more all or nothing.
Yeah, because it's much more difficult to do, but it'll be much more impressive if you do it.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And
cool.
I will be spending karma.
Good call.
I got a yellow.
Yellow for Mordin.
Green.
I got a red.
Nice.
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 Lace got a green, and Stitch got a yellow.
Damn,
I'm gonna
guys.
say during the climax of that song,
Stitch vaults off of Lace into the crowd, basically crowd surfs, and then just like shoots shampoo into the air.
Archer, how are we looking?
So I rolled an 89, and I'm going to go ahead and spend 11 karma to bring that to the 100 necessary for red.
There you go. Very good. So, Team Adventquisitions Zonecorporated really pulls out all the stops for their performance. There's an extended guitar solo, and a drum solo, and a bass solo, and a jug solo? Like, you weren't even sure it was capable of more than maybe 2 notes, but somehow Merle Highchurch makes that thing sing. But in the end, it is Dr. Shocker's anthem that the crowd is cheering for at an ear-splitting volume. This match has been decided. Your winner, Team Ohana!
Yeah.
And the crowd cheers with rapturous excitement.
So, Dan, did I nail it?
Oh, dude. Neil Peart, wherever he is, suddenly looks up and a tear rolls down his cheek.
Yes!
Where's Cambot?
Oh, he was filming the whole thing. I'm gonna say he's jamming out with Mr. Meeseeks behind the special effects box.
Looks like we did it, Cambot!
We couldn't have done it without you, Mr. Meeseeks. Are you going to join us at the after party?
No can do, I'm afraid.
Poof.
Mordin just stares off into space. He runs over and grasps at some of the little blue powder that's left in the air for a second.
I immediately come over and put my hand on Mordin's shoulder.
And I thought Solarians had short, beautiful lives.
Cambot is immediately putting together a memorial reel for Mr. Meeseeks. It's a very short reel. Troy McClure smiles broadly out at the crowd. What an incredible match. But we're not done yet. There's still 2 teams here, and I know everyone wants to see which one is going to meet up with Team Ohana in the finals. So, let's not waste any more time. Team Power Rangers versus Team Soul Edge in... And the screen behind him flashes with possible locations before settling on the image of a tranquil forest grove surrounding a pond fed by a waterfall. The Emerald Grove! The warriors from both teams are engulfed in light, disappearing from the stage at the same moment that they appear on the screen in the grove.
That stage has too many ring-outs, man. I'm not down with it.
Yeah, no joke. This place is made for ring-outs. Team Soul Edge are momentarily disoriented from the teleportation, but... that's all the time that Team Power Rangers needs.
I mean, yeah, they're never disoriented from teleportation.
No, of course not. This is their life. Let's do it, guys, says the red-clad member as the other 4 take up a conspicuous wedge formation behind him. It's morphin' time! All 5 of them produce small belt-buckle-shaped objects and hold them in front of them, calling out the names of various prehistoric animals. Rainbow-colored light bursts forth from them, and in the next moment, the teenagers have been replaced by warriors in brightly colored spandex wearing dinosaur-themed motorcycle helmets. By this point, Team Soul Edge have gotten their bearings, and the 2 groups head for each other. Team Soul Edge dashing forward with visible bloodlust, while Team Power Rangers leaps and flips toward their foes. The resulting battle is absolutely ferocious. Team Power Rangers have much, much stronger teamwork than Team Soul Edge does, but... they seem used to fighting one opponent at once, and anytime one of them has to square off against a single member of Team Soul Edge, they make a fine show of it but are clearly out of their comfort zone. Eventually, the 5 Power Rangers, all 5 visibly exhausted, combine 5 colorful-looking weapons together into one gigantic tech crossbow, which they use to fire 5 multicolored beams of destructive light at the enemy team. The resulting impact creates a huge explosion, and when the dust clears, Team Soul Edge lies unconscious. Except for Tira, who stands panting and on the verge of unconsciousness. The Red Ranger calls out, "Give it up, Tira, it's over." The single camera filming the scene flies over to Tira and zooms in dramatically on her face. Her eyes flick over at the camera, and her face suddenly breaks into a terrifyingly manic grin as her blade ring lashes out and the camera goes to static. Everyone, make an intuition check with a bonus for perception, please.
Oh, I think I know where this is going. I got 100.
Okay.
Nice.
Green.
Yellow.
Green.
White.
So everyone except for Luna notices that just before Tira lashed out at the camera, it looked as though another ring had begun to form in her other hand, but this one didn't look like it was made out of metal, it looked like it was made out of flesh. And you're pretty sure you saw an eyeball on it.
Ugh.
The audience moans when the image cuts out, but Troy McClure is quick to try to calm them down. Oh, don't worry, folks, just a minor malfunction. We have another camera deploying as we speak. And apparently he knows what he's talking about, because it's only about 30 seconds before the image comes back on. The screen shows an overhead view of the forest as the camera drone begins to swoop in toward the battle scene. But when it arrives, the battle is already over. The 5 Power Rangers lie motionless on the forest floor. Up until this point, their costumes hadn't suffered any actual physical damage during their fight with the enemy, but now they are visibly torn and shredded in places.
Ooh.
And even with the kinetic dampeners engaged, the Rangers suffered tremendous damage in the unseen moments of the fight. Standing triumphant over all of them is Tira, laughing ecstatically. Again, everyone except for Luna, those of you that had noticed the weapon forming in her hand right before the camera cut out, you also notice that her metal ring is still lying off in the background where she threw it when she destroyed the camera. So whatever she used to defeat the Rangers, it wasn't her usual weapon. This match has been decided. Your winner, Team Soul Edge. For those of you who have been interested in the possible mental and emotional manipulation of the people of Nexus City, so Mordin and Luna, you register the briefest moment of shock and confusion from the crowd. But it's a blink and you'll miss it type moment, which quickly gives way to the crowd's typical over-the-top cheering excitement. Both teams on screen are once again surrounded by light, but only Team Soul Edge reappears on stage, with the Power Rangers presumably being teleported to the tournament's infirmary. As the fallen members of Team Soul Edge begin to slowly climb to their feet, Tira shows off to the crowd, cartwheeling and flipping, at one point making eye contact with your group meaningfully, as if promising pain in the near future. There you have it, folks, McClure says to the audience. We have our finalist teams, Team Ohana versus Team Soul Edge. Thanks for joining us here tonight. I think I speak for everyone when I say, I can't wait to see the finals. See you then. And with that, the cameras pull away, the credits roll, and the audience cheers. Eventually, as you all are back in your dressing room, coming down from the fight and preparing to head out eventually, Cambot is swinging around, pointing his lens at all of you. His exterior shell has been repaired where Balrog had cracked it earlier. It's now sleeker and tougher than it was before, and he now sports stylish pink lighting instead of his previous red.
Oh yeah, he does. He's even got like a little Dia de los Muertos like look to
Yeah,
him.
sure. He probably has a little like skull sticker on him.
Oh yeah.
He says, well, obviously it's been a big night for everyone. Can I ask how you're all feeling right now? What are you thinking is going to happen in the final match?
Is the footage of Team Soul Edge's previous matches available somewhere?
Gambot says, well, yes, of course. It's all archived online.
I'm gonna need to study that.
All right, I can probably get that, but can I get a reaction from you, Dr. Solus? What are you thinking right now? What are your thoughts? Obviously, you seem to have some sort of reaction when the camera came back on.
I think this next fight might be a bit more complicated than some of the other ones.
An interesting response. He swings his camera away from Mordin and begins sort of darting between the remaining 4 of you and says, anyone else have anything they want to say? Your viewers and your fans really want to know what's going on in your heads right now.
Cambot, come here, listen to me.
Of course. What do you have to say, Mr. Archer?
Look, I know everybody seemed really impressed by what Soul Edge did there in the end. You know, it's pretty impressive. But did you catch that drum solo? Cambot, look at me. Anyone who can nail YYZ, anyone who can nail that drum solo, there's nothing that can take him down. I'm Sterling Archer. I'm Sterling Archer Cambot, yes.
I feel like this may be unprofessional for me to ask this of you, but you see, I don't have any hands, and, well, I seem to have accumulated a tear on my camera lens. I think for professionalism's sake, I need to ask you to clear up my camera lens so that the quality of this broadcast is not interfered with.
It's all right, buddy. It's a perfectly reasonable response.
No, it's fine. It was a thing of beauty, Mr. Archer.
Thank you. No, we're not going to have any problems. I'm not even worried.
Luna's gonna turn to Mordin and go, Are you really worried? I didn't see what happened. Are you really worried?
Well, the fight should have been won at that point. whatever she did in the end to win it, she's calling upon some sort of power that's greater than anything we've had to face in the tournament so far. I think we need to figure out what it is.
Would it be cheating if I read her mind?
You can read people's minds?
You can't?
You don't want to read my mind.
Wait, I thought you had something for everything. I'm not convinced by this technology thing, Mordin. I don't know.
Given that us murdering people did not get us disqualified from the tournament, I think that mind reading will probably be acceptable.
We
Okay.
didn't murder. Who did we murder? Oh yeah, those guys. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cambot, is Tira still in the building?
He sort of like seems to go distant for a second, and he says, no, Team Soul Edge has headed out to their after party.
After party, you say?
Did we get invited?
I don't know. I with respect, I am not your secretary.
Not with that attitude, you're not going to be Cambot. Don't you want to move up?
Okay, at this moment, I grab Cambot and say, okay, Cambot, I need a shower. I need to wash this shampoo off. I need a suit cut to these specifications. My tongue starts coming out of my mouth and I start panting.
Okay, well, good. Dante finally lost it. It took 20 episodes, but Dante finally lost it. So eventually you all exit the green room area and head for the parking garage where your vehicles, Archer's Aston Martin, Dante's motorcycle, and the turtle van are all parked.
Just to be clear,
Oh, fuck. I never get tired of that.
I have a cane and a top hat at this point.
Nice.
But like, still no shirt, right?
Yeah, just a suit coat.
Luna's gonna transfigure the suit coat to maroon paisley.
That'll work.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, can Stitch look up at Dante's, before it got changed, weird tux look and make his Venom symbiote basically sort of like in a tux shape?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Except it has that big spider pattern on it.
Yeah, with the fucking top hat and everything.
Nice. Yep.
And a monocle.
The parking garage that you guys are in is largely empty and quiet. But as you're making your way to your rides, you can't help but feel a sensation of being watched.
Stitch is gonna immediately start looking around, using his like super hearing and various forms of sight.
Yeah, let's do some intuition with a bonus for perception, or if you have enhanced senses, you may use that instead.
White.
Green.
No go. This monocle's in our way!
So I got a green.
Oh boy, white.
Mordin and Luna, the two of you notice a figure standing some distance away in the shadows. Their features are largely obscured because you see they are wearing a fedora, a trench coat, and a large pair of sunglasses. Mordin, it takes you a moment, but you realize that the figure actually isn't as far away as you initially thought. They're actually just very small, like maybe just over 3 feet tall. But whatever this figure is, they're watching all of you intently.
Oh, Luna's just gonna look at him and go, hi!
So as you do that, Luna, suddenly all of you see something that looks like a thick whip lashes out from a shadowed area of the parking garage, wraps around Luna's waist, and yanks her into the darkness.
Oh no. My friend Lunas has gotten me into trouble.
What do you all do?
Stitch is gonna just like, boom, right after her.
Yeah,
Boom.
go after her.
Beat feet.
All right. So you guys all charge into the shadows of the parking garage, and you turn a corner.
Wait. Night vision goggles.
There you go. You turn a corner, and you see Luna is hugging Venusaur.
I missed you so much!
He says, Venus.
Mordin looks back over his shoulder to see if he can spot that trench-coated figure.
Yeah, it's walking up to you, and now that it's closer, you can see that it is War Turtle wearing a trench coat, fedora, and
shit!
sunglasses.
God, he's so cool.
Yeah, very incognito.
Can't handle him. He's so cool.
I remove my night vision goggles.
Okay. Reluctantly, it sounds like.
I am learning.
Luna, as you stand up, having finished your hug of Venusaur, both Venusaur and War Turtle are kind of like insistently gesturing and saying their names repeatedly. And you get the sense that they're trying to get you to go somewhere with them.
I'm on board. I'm gonna go.
Mordin brings up the computer on his Omni tool and is trying the different settings on his auto translator for all of the different languages from the Mass Effect galaxy, trying to find one that matches War Turtle, War Turtle, War Turtle.
Yes.
Do you have a Pokedex feature on that?
So as you guys begin to go, War Turtle steps in front of Dante and Archer and sort of looks up at the two of them and points with 2 fingers at his own eyes, and then points at Archer's eyes, and then points with 2 fingers at his own eyes, and then points at Dante's eyes, and then just, like, fixes a stare at you for another good second or two, and then turns and begins to waddle off after Venusaur.
Not so tough without your crane, are you?
Archer.
Sorry, Luna. Sorry. Don't like people who swing cranes at me.
And maybe if we hadn't attacked them, there wouldn't have been crane violence.
We were in a tournament! Anyway, sorry. Sorry, Luna. You know I'm not mad at you.
I do. Thank you, Archer.
So the 2 Pokemon take you through some of the now empty concrete halls beneath the Balboa Stadium. You find yourselves led through areas that you haven't seen before, separate from the green room and the dressing rooms. The whole while, Venusaur and Wartortle visibly have their guard up, as if they're expecting trouble around any corner potentially. Finally, you are led to a large boiler room beneath the arena. The room is lit with red light, with large machines squatting in pools of black shadow, and a humming, throbbing sound is loud and ever-present all around you. The 2 Pokemon lead you through the maze of machinery down here, ultimately arriving at a featureless cinder block wall. Venusaur snakes out one of its long vine tendrils and presses in one of the cinder blocks, which sinks into the wall as a section of the wall itself slides aside noiselessly. There's a slight shift in the airflow around as you see a stairway descending down into the earth. There's a string of light bulbs running along the ceiling, and they're currently off, but the stairway itself is nevertheless lit by a strange flickering green light from somewhere below.
Stitch is gonna put his hand up against the same wall and just, like, jam a block in.
Okay, yeah,
Pure strength.
you basically just crush the cinder block.
Oh. Disappointed nothing happens.
Yep.
Mordin looks down at the creatures and says, "Seems like you've been here before a few times."
Wartortle looks up at you meaningfully and says, "Wartortle."
Can we have a Pokemon War game?
Oh, God.
I mean, next patron suggested thing that I do, maybe. Pokemon Nights.
Is Cambot still with us?
Yeah, Cambot's still with you guys.
I don't know if Cambot should be recording this. I feel like this might be secret. The Pokemon don't seem to want us to air that.
I'm gonna say to Cambot, "Hey Cambot,
Yes, Dr. Solus.
are the things that you're recording being sent back to the Nexus Tournament HQ in real time, or are they stored on you locally and then uploaded later?"
Well, it depends. I can do either. I can either be broadcasting live, or I can store it for later editing and release.
What are you doing right now?
At the moment, I'm just passively recording without transmitting.
Good. Keep doing that.
All right, if you say so. If you change your mind, just let me know.
Until we say otherwise.
Certainly.
Stitch is gonna jump onto Cambot, like right on top of him, and look into the camera like, "You're with us now."
Cambot visibly like sinks a couple of feet in the air and is like bobbing erratically, trying to stay aloft. So
Stitch is just gonna ride Cambot. For
all right, great. Lace glares at Cambot.
Oh!
You all descend the stone staircase, with the green flickering light growing stronger with every step you take downward. After what seems like an eternity, you emerge into a cavernous room. The entirety of this room is lit by a flickering green light, and that light is coming from hundreds of tubes, which are similar to the ones you found yourself in when you were kidnapped by Phyrexia. But these ones are filled with a strange glowing green substance. The tubes are arranged in overlapping rows rising up along the walls, sort of like the pipes of that big pipe organ that Luna was playing not so long ago. There are motionless forms within each tube, and looking at them, you suddenly realize that you recognize many of them. You see Team Battletoads, you see Team James Bond, Team Cage. You realize that the tubes contain the past losing teams from the Nexus tournament.
Oh shit.
So I'm gonna look down at Wartortle and Venusaur and say, I going to ask how you escaped this fate, but will that just be a waste of time?
Venusaur.
Oh, thank you. That clears it up.
But you see that Venusaur's vines have snaked out and are beginning to point at some of the tubes. And you see that Ash is in one of them, and his other Pokemon each inhabit one of the other tubes.
Were you in these tubes before? Were some of these yours?
Wartortle shakes his head and says, Tortle.
Great
This is
conversation.
like 20 questions. It's just like yes or no questions. All right.
Stitch is gonna. There's like little. There's like consoles and stuff, right?
No.
No, it's just the tubes.
Well, so it looks as though there are hundreds of cables glowing with the same green light that run out from the bottom of each of the tubes. They all feed into one massive machine up against one wall of this huge room.
Some Matrix shit.
Now, this machine is multi-leveled, and it has two separate stairways leading up to higher levels on it. At the highest level is a series of gigantic screens, many of which display the cheering crowds of the Nexus tournament. Many show vital readouts of the fighters imprisoned within the surrounding tubes. Many seem to be charting the influx of some sort of energy source. The largest and most central of these screens displays an impressive cross-section of the different sections of Nexus City itself, showing some sort of complex web running beneath the entire city, crossing between the different universes that the city is a part of.
How far away are these tube people from us?
You guys are kind of standing in the middle, so,
Okay.
you know, the closest one is maybe like 40 feet away from you.
Okay. Stitch is gonna web over to Ashes
Okay.
and just like attempt to shatter the glass.
As Stitch jumps over to Ash's tube and begins to try to break it, all of a sudden, all of your bodies stop moving. It's just that simple. You try to move or react in some way to what you're seeing, but it's as though the signals from your brain suddenly aren't reaching your body. You remain in this state, paralyzed and confused for a few seconds before a familiar voice rings out. Hi, I'm Troy McClure. I remember you from such events as the Nexus tournament and staying the hell out of things that don't concern you.
I don't remember being in that last one. Was I?
Can we move our eyes?
Yes, you can move your eyes and you can speak, but basically nothing below the neck. The yellow-skinned Nexus tournament host suddenly steps out from the shadows. He's holding a tablet computer in his right hand, and his usual amiable smile looks somehow more sinister in the flickering green light. Venusaur and Wartortle, who are not paralyzed in the way that you guys are, suddenly let loose a battle cry and begin to charge at him, but he raises up his left hand. A skull-shaped ball of fire rockets from his hand and into
fucking
Venusaur.
hell.
Wartortle leaps through the air at him, but he shifts his posture and with a gesture seems to pull a greenish light out of Wartortle and into himself.
Oh my
And
god.
both Pokemon drop to the ground, writhing in agony.
Okay,
Oh
Luna's
my God.
just screaming now.
Holy shit.
So I recall that we got injected with some crap that was supposed to help us, that was supposed to teleport us?
Correct, you got injected with translocator nanos. Troy McClure looks at the fallen Pokemon and says, oh, you two. I was wondering where you'd gone to. Odd. I'm sure I had injected you with those translocator nanos. Strange they didn't take. Oh well, a mystery for another time, perhaps. He looks around at all of you and says, well, I was rather hoping this wouldn't come to pass until after the final round of the Nexus tournament, but I'm sure I can come up with something.
Oh, when they evolved, their nanos went away.
Oh.
That's probably what it is. Okay, Stitch evolves.
What if I use Devil Trigger?
Do it.
I
Yeah,
don't
dog.
know.
Do it,
Yeah,
dude.
Do it.
Dog.
Okay, I use Devil Trigger. Ah!
Dante is suddenly surrounded by crackling lightning and suddenly shifts into his demonic form. Dante, you can move.
Always have
Save
a
us,
Pokemon on your
Dante.
team.
What do you do?
I want to body slam McClure and try to get that tablet out of his hand.
Okay, you can give me an endurance check if you want to try to charge him, or a fighting check if you'd rather punch him or hit him with Frostmourne.
No, I'm in rage mode, so, endurance, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Can I use Karma?
Yes, you may.
Okay, I'll use Karma.
Go, you beautiful demon boy.
Okay, I'm just gonna take it to a red.
Dan, I'm gonna attempt to meditate
Okay.
and thereby evolve my consciousness.
Dante flies forward with his new demon-enhanced speed, much faster than Troy McClure was anticipating, particularly since, obviously, Troy McClure wasn't anticipating any of this. You slam into him with supernatural strength and knock him off his feet and then about 20 feet backwards, where he slams into one of the tubes. The tablet does not go all the way with him. It drops partway through and shatters into pieces. And all of you can move again.
Yeah!
Hey.
Troy McClure stands up from where he hit the tube and then slid to the ground. He momentarily seems to become liquid. His features flow like water into new shape and colors. And within no time flat, he's changed into a man with Asian features, with long white hair and a long beard and mustache, wearing a black and red robe. Allow me to reintroduce myself. You may call me Shang Tsung. You do not know what it is that you are doing here. Do you know how long I have been absorbing the soul energy of these fighters? Do you know how close I am to becoming, seems to search for the word, and then comes upon it and says, godlike?
Yeah.
Does he follow it up with sorry, Colin?
I have been harvesting the soul energy of hundreds of the strongest warriors that multiple universes have to offer at the peak of their power.
So, Dan, while he's monologuing, I'm gonna take up my sniper rifle and form an aim action.
Okay, great. Do you know what it has taken for me to set up this framework to control the emotions of the people of Nexus City, to fuel the souls of these fighters so that they would be all the richer for me to harvest? And I am so close.
Dan, while he's monologuing, can I use the Venom symbiote to, like, secretly glue him to the floor?
Sure.
Like, it just, like, starts slithering from below him
Yeah,
and grabs
sure.
his feet?
He says, all it was going to take was one single solitary match to maximize the soul energy between your team and Team Soul Edge, and then I would feed upon both of you and become a god in this very realm. And yet that was too much to ask.
Yeah, Mordin says, despite all of the energy that you gather, though, you will always be a puny little human.
Hey.
Not, it says, there's two people who can monologue here. You're not the only one, you know. You're outnumbered and outmatched now, Shang Tsung. Drop to your knees and pledge your loyalty to Dr. Shocker or face the consequences.
Mordin, I would like for you to make a psyche check with a bonus for performance.
Okay.
I love that every arc, Mordin has a new, like, persona.
Yes.
Persona.
Yellow.
Shang Tsung has never had a villainous monologue interrupted by another villainous monologue before. And this dude hangs out with, like, Quan Chi and Shao Kahn. So this is really new for him. So he sort of stares mouth agape, trying to get his bearings as Dr. Shocker begins to expound on his own superiority, as Stitch, unseen, sneaks up behind him and webs his feet to the floor. And Archer takes aim with his sniper rifle. Archer, why don't you go ahead and roll?
So right before I fire, I say, hey, idiot, look behind you. What happens when all the souls you stole start coming back? Which, of course, is not happening. So,
Right.
Because I do have deception.
No, I'll say he just turns around. Except he can't, because his feet are webbed to the floor. So he ends up doing, like, a really awkward sort of, like, flailing of his arms as he tries to turn around and, like, totally throws off his center of gravity.
And now I shoot him.
Do it. Because it's not enough to headshot the dude. You have to make him look like an idiot first.
That's right. Should I spend karma on this? Yeah, I'll go ahead and spend karma on this. Yeah, that would have been a red anyway, so.
The gunshot from the sniper rifle rings out. Shao Kahn's head snaps back, and then he very awkwardly slumps to the floor with his knees up still because his feet are still stuck to the ground. He lies on the ground for a few long seconds before green energy suddenly surges around him and flows into his head wound, which you see sort of seals up. He then seems to float back up to his feet. Again, his feet are stuck to the ground, but it's like he's using no bodily effort to do so. He regains his feet, shakes his head, looks at all of you, smirks, and says, Round 2. Fight! Extraordinary League is produced by Dan Mulkerin, with logo designed by Colin Mulkerin.
Special thanks to Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com for our theme song, Motherload, and to TabletopAudio.com for our background music and ambient sound effects.
You can find us on Twitter at SmashFic Podcast and search for the Smash Fiction Podcast on Facebook, Tumblr, and YouTube.
Subscribe on iTunes or your podcatcher of choice, and if you leave us a good review, we shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
If you have any suggestions, feedback, or other contributions, send them to us at smashfictionpodcast@gmail.com and help us continue the fight.
Ooh-wee, what do you need me to do in this situation?
Is that Miles? Oh my god, that sounds so different!
I didn't know you could do that.
It's like, who the fuck just got on?
Would you like to ride on my motorcycle, Stitch?
No, I have a dinosaur.
Well, okay.
Aww.
I'm sad and dejected.
Oh, okay. Stitch sees that and his ears droop, and then he looks at Lace, and then smash cut to Lace and Stitch riding on the back
Yes!
of Dante's motorcycle.
We'll make it work.
Lace is driving the motorcycle, and Dante and Stitch are in the sidecar.
Yeah.
Why not a stacking tower thing? We're on Lace, who's on the motorcycle.
And now, an excerpt from the July 2017 patron-only bonus episode of Extraordinary League. Welcome to a bonus episode of Extraordinary League, an actual play RPG podcast brought to you by Smash Fiction and by our backers on Patreon. I'm Dan Mulkerin, your game master. Playing Elphaba is Colin Mulkerin.
I will be Elphaba. I'm gonna be Elphaba. We counted the patrons' votes and read the things they wrote, and there was one clear winner here. Ooh, now I can make things go boom and ride around on a broom and do my evil witchy laugh. To be Elphaba, I get to play Elphaba, and raindrops keep falling on my head.
Jesus, no.
But that doesn't mean that I will melt until I'm dead. Rumors of my death have greatly been exaggerated by me so that I could go run off with Fiero, meaning that everyone's favorite villain is actually an anti-hero.
How do you keep picking these musical characters, man?
I'm starting to think it's not an accident.
Playing Sir Didymus is Kit Mulkerin.
For thee, anything. But I'm not a coward,
No.
and my sense of smell is keen.
Yes.
Then I shall fight anyone, anywhere, any place, any time.
Playing Jack Bauer is Liz Logan.
You know what happens when a bullet enters a human body? Multiple bullets? You die. Well, most of the time. But maybe you'll be lucky and writhe around a little bit, fully conscious of your new metal implants, and have another hour of life. But you know, that actually would make me lucky, not you.
Oh, Jesus.
I feel like that quote could very well have belonged to our next character. Playing Brock Sampson is Miles Schneiderman.
Well, I can cross-join the Extraordinary League off my list of cool crap I thought I'd never get to do.
And playing the cheat is Megan Bob.
Or alternatively, rock on.
No, you made the right choice.
I will happily buy all of your playsets.
Yay!
Some Extraordinary League cells are legendary. Buffy's team has rescued more people from Phyrexia's conversion stations than anyone else. Lara Croft's group was known for their ability to quickly adapt to any new world, at least before they were betrayed by one of their own. Even Elijah Snow's recent ad hoc team was able to pull off an incredible heist and escape from a Phyrexian praetor. The 5 of you are not a cell. You have your own cells. Or maybe it's more accurate to say that you had your own cells. For one reason or another, you find yourselves currently groupless. It might have been a disaster, or an embarrassment, or a mistake, but whatever happened, it meant that for the time being at least, you are not currently associated with a regular group. Please tell me exactly what happened that led to each of you being temporarily rendered solo.
I mean, it was just a football game, and I mean, they said they knew how to play. I didn't know that they were so fragile.
Also, it was soccer, was what they were trying to play.
Well, they're easy mistake to make.
Okay, so Brock Sampson apparently severely injured / killed his own teammates during a friendly scrimmage game.
Elphaba discovered while she was away on a mission that some members of her team had been influenced by the Phyrexians. Some of them were, like, infected, and she ended up fighting off and killing the rest of her team because she was the only one who was not infected and they all turned on her. And there is no evidence of this.
Wow. You just basically showed back up in Castle Grayskull.
Yes.
With, like, the blood of your friends all over you.
Yes.
And had to explain that, no, for reals, I'm not a bad guy.
Right.
Okay.
So, Jack had a pretty tight team. He was the director of the team. He called it, I don't know, FCTU, Fantasy Counterterrorism Unit. Anyways, so he's the director of this unit, but then suddenly someone says something strange, and he arrests them, tortures them, determines that they're a mole, doesn't care what they say, and he goes about his job, and then someone else says something weird, goes through the same process, well, they're a mole now, and suddenly everyone's a mole, and it's only Jack, and he doesn't understand what he's done with his life. He grows a beard, moves to China, and is alone.
Is this like the John Wick universe where everyone's an assassin, everyone's a mole?
Yep.
No, this is the Extraordinary League equivalent of the party all deciding to play chaotic evil characters.
Yeah. To be clear,
Yeah.
Liz, Jack Bauer is going to be starting off in Castle Grayskull, so he could have spent some
But
time
he
in China,
thinks it's
but
China.
sure.
Yeah. He was drugged, you know.
I gotcha.
He just,
'Cause
you know, he
moles.
was in a shipping container for a while. Who knows?
May I ask, who were your former teammates?
Is mole men, you know, coincidentally.
I mean, no.
The moment.
I was gonna say one of his teammates was Bames John.
Okay.
No one gets that. And
Nope.
Basin Jorn.
Wow. Basin Jorn.
That sounds like Scandinavian.
I will point out, Liz, in this game, you can use actual James Bond and Jason Bourne.
But that's not who they are, okay? Oh my god, maybe that's their mole names.
That's what I was thinking, like the
moles!
damn it! Shittiest spies ever.
How did I not see it? Who do you work for? Damn it!
Yeah, Sir Didymus, so he was kind of the kid always picked last, you know, for the sports team, because he's not strong, he's really fast, but when he hits you, it's just like, ow, my shin, and then that's about it. He's also really unlucky. There was an incident on a bridge, and you know, he was testing its sturdiness, but this was after everyone was already walking across it, and the bridge might have fallen into a river. Thankfully, everyone survived, but that was kind of it. And he's once again, you know, he's trying to find a team that but everyone's team seemed to be full now. Oh. But he is valiant.
Funny that.
He's ready. He's ready to fight again. You know, as soon as a spot opens up.
So the cheat doesn't like being told what to do very much. The cheat will tolerate it. But Buffy, you know, made some comments about him having weird flipper hands and also not being that useful. And so he made a really mean flash animation cartoon about her. And it was just like her sort of like with her butt facing the screen and then also turning around, like picking her nose and going, I'm a stupid leader. But that got him a warning. And then he used a Scandinavian fake ID to spike the coffee. Well, I mean, not a fake ID, but he used it to go buy some alcohol and then spike the coffee. And that got him some further
denomination, so he's in.
The resulting rave party got him thrown out of the
Yeah, I mean, the rave was real great. He DJ'd it. It was great. The after effects, not so great.
Has he just been standing next to that one special light switch in Castle Grayskull, just flicking it on and off?
Yeah, it's been pretty much that.
So, for those reasons, the 5 of you are among the few members of the League actually stationed in Castle Grayskull at the moment. Everyone else is off-world on some mission or another. Thus it was that the 5 of you were the only ones available when someone came looking for help. His name is David, a fresh-faced young man in a blue tunic. He came from the small town of Shandor, which sits on the edge of the Emerald Forest, a short journey from Castle Grayskull. His is a town of farmers, woodcutters, miners, and scholars, not a single warrior among them. Thus, they found themselves quite overwhelmed when an unusual and dangerous group of raiders came calling. They used strange vehicles and deadly weapons, attacking with such savagery that they seemed like animals. The citizens of Shandor have twice now mounted a defense against the raiders, twice experienced tremendous losses, twice barely survived. Their losses have always been greater than those of the raiders, and when, not if, the raiders attack again, David fears that it may mean the end of his town. He has heard stories of heroes living in the castle known as Grayskull, which the people of his town can see as a distant shape amongst the mountain peaks. He has come looking for help to protect his town and repel the raiders. This is your chance to prove that despite the mistakes of your past, you are still heroes and you can still help. Our story opens as you arrive in the town of Shandor. The streets are cobbled stone.